We're back with Andrew Aoki, principal and co-founder of 3 Point Consulting, LLC, and College Connections Hawaii. So, Andrew, can you tell us a little bit about College Connections Hawaii?
Yeah, right about, I guess now almost 7 or 8 years ago, actually, I was working at the auditor. I just started a mortgage. I was recently married, and my friend from college called me up and said, "Hey, bro, come over, go quit your job. We're gonna go start this thing." And I said, "Okay." I mean, what else do you do when you just started a mortgage? Quit your stable job and you go start a business. So we started this thing, and in part, it was just to do counseling for kids because we just felt like there was such a huge imbalance between kids that go to private schools and kids that go to public schools in terms of the counseling, the help, the motivation, the expectations of kids. All of that was so skewed that we just felt like there needed to be something. And as we got going, we realized how huge the need was for not just that. I mean, that was one obstacle. But then there's the financial aid obstacles, there's the standardized tests, there's all these other hurdles. Just the essay to write to get into college. I mean, it's a huge hurdle for a lot of these kids. And so there's so much more that we decided, hey, let's get other people to pay for it. Let's start a nonprofit and write for grants and start some kind of, and really it's kind of a hybrid. I mean, it's a nonprofit, but really we realized too that there's a market for some of these educational services, test prep and all of that stuff. So we can sell that stuff if it's a high quality product, make a lot of the fees that way, and then also apply for grants and make sure it's accessible to all kids.
So College Connections was a point where people could come to you, or a center or a program where you could connect them with putting in touch with college counselors, or?
Well, basically the big problem we're trying to work on, right, is that there's way too many kids that could go to college but don't, and for a lot of reasons that are totally, could be addressed. And so what we've done is actually we've taken a much more decentralized approach than that. Actually, we have tutors that tutor young kids throughout the state. We do test prep classes. We train test prep instructors, and then go do these SAT test prep classes and make them super accessible. They're like, if you're low income or whatever, you pay almost nothing. If you're middle income, you pay another fee. If you can afford it, you pay the full fee. It's a sliding scale kind of thing. But the bottom line is, like, way too few kids are getting prepped for this. And if you just took the test ahead of time as a practice, your score will go up 50 points automatic just because you're familiar with the test, And that's totally unfair that some kids can't access that, I think.
So you folks were helping the disadvantaged students financially, like helping them with their application fees, putting them in touch with financial institutions.
Working with it, trying to demystify the financial aid process. Yeah, so do workshops for parents and students. It's an extremely confusing, process. Financial aid is like, it's like taxes. Basically, it's extremely complicated. And at least with taxes, you can hire an accountant or something like that. I mean, how do families help, going through all the forms and all the decisions that have to be made? It's not that straightforward. Counselors in Hawaii are awesome at pretty much all levels. The problem is, like in public schools, there's like one counselor to 300 kids. I mean, how much time can you really spend to disseminate that information? So counselors are working really hard, but I think there's a need for that supplemental help as well.
And so are you able to share with us a story of a student that did go through your program, since you've been in service for 8 years now?
Yeah, a lot of, when we started, actually, we did these kind of full service workshops. We asked for, I think, $280,000, a $280,000 grant, and we got $4,000. So we scaled down a little bit and did like a workshop, like a series of workshops for kids on Molokai, actually, who were college potential. I mean, they had good grades and all that, but and we worked with that group. We did college searches online with them, kind of talked through like what would be a good fit college-wise. What would be a kind of matches both your career goals, but also like your learning style and all that stuff. There's no place to look up that kind of stuff. Worked with them on SAT prep, went through the kinds of questions, made sure they took it, right? Because a lot of times the reason kids don't go is because they forget to take it, right? Or they can't afford the fee. So make sure to get fee waivers if they were eligible. And a lot of those kids, in fact, we just found out from a couple of those kids that are now graduates of college. It's awesome, you know.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more on Greater Good Radio.